It started with a mistake, the kind of mistake that's supposed to fade into the night like spilled whiskey and bad karaoke. But mine didn't. Mine had a name, a reputation, and a maddeningly perfect jawline. Professor Adrian Hale. The man every student at Westwood University whispered about in hushed tones. Not because he was feared, but because he was too damn magnetic for his own good. I should have forgotten the night he stumbled into me at a faculty dinner drunk, cocky, and dangerously charming, murmuring things that no student should ever hear from a professor's lips. But forgetting wasn't an option when, 2 days later, the entire campus decided we were a couple. And the worst part? A piece of me didn't want them to be wrong. Ethan Miller had never been good at lying, especially not to himself. He was a sophomore, ambitious, sarcastic, and perpetually broke. The kind of kid who dreamed big but laughed at his own chances. And yet somehow, fate had tossed him into the orbit of Adrian Hale, the alpha professor of literature whose words could cut like knives or soothe like silk. The rumors started small. A look here, a lingering touch there. But gossip at Westwood was like wildfire. Soon, it wasn't just whispers. People stared when Ethan walked into class. Friends nudged him, grinning knowingly. Even faculty members exchanged glances when Adrian called on him. It should have been humiliating. Instead, it was intoxicating. Because here was the truth Ethan hated admitting that night, when Adrian leaned too close, whiskey heavy on his breath, and whispered, "If you weren't my student, I'd ruin you in ways you'd thank me for." Something in Ethan's chest had exploded. Shock, anger, and an aching, dangerous curiosity. Adrian Hale wasn't immune to the fallout either. Professors weren't supposed to care about student gossip, but Adrian did. He cared far too much, especially when he saw the way Ethan's eyes flickered between defiance and longing. It wasn't supposed to happen, not again. Years of discipline, of keeping himself untouchable, were unraveling because of one reckless night. He told himself he was protecting Ethan by keeping his distance. But the boy's laughter haunted him. His stubbornness, his relentless honesty, and the way he looked at Adrian sometimes like he saw past the armor and into the fragile man beneath. The more Adrian avoided him, the louder the rumors grew. And soon, avoiding wasn't an option anymore. The breaking point came one rainy evening. Ethan found himself locked out of the library after hours, soaked to the bone, cursing the universe. And of course, that's when Adrian appeared, umbrella in hand, gaze burning with something Ethan couldn't name. "You'll catch pneumonia if you stay out here," Adrian said, his voice low, almost gentle. Ethan wanted to laugh, to bite back with one of his usual sarcastic remarks. But instead, he blurted, "Why do you care?" Adrian's jaw tightened. "Because I do." The silence between them crackled, louder than the rain. And then Adrian stepped closer, the umbrella forgotten, his hand brushing Ethan's cheek. It was reckless. It was forbidden. It was inevitable. "Tell me to stop," Adrian whispered. Ethan's heart pounded, but his lips betrayed him. "I can't." And just like that, the walls they'd both built crumbled. But reality was cruel. The next morning, Ethan walked into class to find the stares sharper, the whispers louder. Someone had seen them. Maybe everyone had. For days, the weight of judgment pressed down. Ethan's friends teased him, but beneath their laughter was curiosity, envy, and even resentment. The administration began sniffing around, suspicious. Adrian's career, everything he'd worked for, was suddenly dangling by a thread. And yet, in the eye of the storm, Ethan realized something terrifying. He wasn't scared of the rumors anymore. He was scared of losing Adrian. The confrontation came in Adrian's office. Books scattered across the floor, rain hammering against the windows, tension thick enough to choke on. "This is insane," Adrian said, pacing. "You're my student. I could lose everything." "Then why did you kiss me?" Ethan snapped. His voice cracked, raw and unfiltered. "Why did you look at me like I'm the only one who exists?" Adrian froze, the truth written all over his face. He wanted to deny it to protect them both. But he couldn't. Not when Ethan's eyes were blazing with hurt and hope. "Because I can't help it," Adrian finally whispered. "Because you make me want things I swore I'd never want again." And just like that, the battle ended. Not with victory, but with surrender. Weeks passed. The rumors didn't fade, but something else happened. People stopped caring. Or maybe Ethan stopped caring. He and Adrian learned to exist in the in-between stolen glances, fleeting touches, secrets tucked between lectures and late-night study sessions. It was imperfect, messy, dangerous, but it was real. And in the quiet moments, when Adrian's hand found Ethan's beneath the table, or when Ethan's laughter softened Adrian's sharp edges, the noise of the world outside ceased to matter. Because for the first time, they weren't defined by rumors or rules. They were defined by choice. The night of the winter gala sealed it. The ballroom glittered with lights and music, the air thick with champagne and politics. Ethan stood at the edge of the crowd, watching Adrian navigate the room with his usual grace. And then it happened. Adrian crossed the floor, his eyes locked on Ethan, and without hesitation, took his hand. The whispers rose like a tidal wave, but Adrian didn't let go. Instead, he leaned in, his voice steady, his gaze unflinching. "Let them talk," he said. "I'm done pretending." Ethan's throat tightened, tears threatening, but he smiled, squeezing Adrian's hand. "So am I." And as the music swelled, as the entire university watched, the alpha professor and the stubborn student chose each other not in secret, not in shame, but in defiance, in love, and in the fragile, fearless hope of a future together. Because sometimes the rumors get it right. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with the latest videos.